Brant.
Hey, Chris. What's up, man?
Yeah, I was wondering, how did your Black Friday go?
Oh, it was chill. I didn't really get into all that mess. What did you do?
Well, I got a couple of things. I got a couple of DVDs, a couple of games. I got the Superman files finally.
Nice.
So I got a nice amount of stuff.
Oh, awesome. What'd you do for Cyber Monday?
Brant, I stayed away from the internet on Cyber Monday. I mean, I have a girlfriend, a baby on the way. I can't get caught up in all that nonsense here.
Whoa, Chris, what are you talking about, man?
This is just cybering, dude.
No.
Do that. We're prestigious people here.
No, dude.
We have a reputation to hold up.
Chris, that's not what. No, that's not what it is. No, it's another cell. Like digital.
Oh. So it's basically a continuation of Black Friday on the internet.
Exactly.
And it's now Tuesday. Damn, I missed the sale!
I guess there's only one thing left to say, though. Go ahead.
Oh. Having been screwed tons of money, live in your ears, it's Comic Related's Related Recap.
And welcome back to the Related Recap, everybody. I'm Brant Fowler.
And I'm Chris Ventura.
And this is episode 359. We're fresh out of Thanksgiving and broke from sales that should never happen after a holiday.
I'm so broke that my debit card is on freeze until tomorrow.
I'm not even going to talk about how broke I am.
I don't even want to talk about it. I'm semi-depressed if a sale happens right now. Yeah. I'm screwed.
The sad thing is the sale happened and I didn't even get anything and I'm still broke. That's pretty bad.
As long as we can laugh at this, Brant, I mean.
That's a good thing. But yeah, so first of all, hope everybody had a wonderful Thanksgiving and ate plenty of food and had good company.
I had plenty of food.
Yeah. And, I don't know, what did you had a good time then?
On Thanksgiving, absolutely.
Okay.
Lots of food. We had, like I said, we had the ham and the turkey. I actually ended up eating a little bit of the ham, not too much, but turkey,
I had plenty of pumpkin pie.
I had too much at my work when we had the Thanksgiving feast, but I love apple pie. Oh, we had apple pie.
I'm a big pumpkin pie fan. I mean, I love pie in general. Pumpkin pie, and that's one of my favorites. So.
I wonder why you like The Rock so much.
I knew that was coming. Anyway.
Sorry, I remember the song The Rock did. It's like, I'm like, oh, God.
Do you like... Oh, no, I'm not going there. Anyway.
No, we're not going there. But I do like one thing.
Yep.
We had Black Friday, I had Leftover Sunday, and then there was Cyber Monday. But I don't even understand why we even waste our time with Cyber Monday when most of us get all of our stuff on Black Friday. I mean, all my purchases were on Black Friday this year.
I don't know. I think I'm still in that point of Turkey Hangover Tuesday. But,
Yeah. Turkey Tuesday?
Yeah.
You're still hungover a week later almost?
And then it's like, why me Wednesday? And then
no, Wednesday is hump day.
All right. Yeah, and Wednesday is New Comic Day. That's the important thing.
Absolutely, but it's also hump day. And you want to laugh? You thought that intro was funny? That was staged. At first, when the first person who told me that Wednesday was hump day, I'm like, and then they're like, oh, it's like the hump. The top of the week, and then you go down. I'm like, oh.
You've never heard that before?
It's hump day.
Okay.
I love my button app. Yeah, no, I didn't know. And then I'm like, are you hitting on me? And she's like, because it was Wednesday, and I'm like, Oh, that's nice.
It's because it's the middle of the week and you have to get over the hump to get to the weekend.
Right, yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. I had that kind of like, duh moment. Hey, I'm allowed.
We swear this.
I call it Wednesday. It's New Comic Day.
We swear this is a family podcast.
When we started, you told me that.
Shh. Oh, shoot. All right. I don't even know how to go from there. There is no segue. There is no smooth transition out of that.
There is something I would like to make mention of, actually, that's a possible good segue back into what we are talking about here.
We were actually talking about something.
Oh, we were? Okay, let's go back to the subject we were talking about.
No, go ahead.
No, go back. Let's go back to that, and then because I have a... Go ahead.
No, I said, I was asking, we were actually talking about something?
I don't even know. I thought you said we were. We said, hello, welcome back.
Yeah. No, you're fine. Just go ahead with your train of thought.
Okay. My train of thought just went derailed. Now I've got to re-rail it. One thing that, drives me completely nuts is we have YouTube nowadays so that we can see, like, when we want to buy something, what's the first thing you do, Brant, when you want to buy something, and you see it online and it looks nice? What's the first thing you want to do?
You go look up reviews or coverage on it to see if it's all it says it's supposed to be.
Right. Now, I saw the book by pure accident. I actually bumped into it on... Gee, I don't even know where I bumped into it. But beside the point, the book's called The Superman Files. And what it is it's a huge, gigantic... It's like the Batman Journal book, except it's Superman. And I saw it on Amazon. They showed you the cover. They gave you that look inside, but that was it. And the look inside, let's be honest here, when it comes to books like this, a look inside is like, that's not helping.
Yeah, that's right.
So I'm like, oh, well, somebody in the internet world has to have this book because it's a very important book, apparently. It's a very big book, and somebody's going to want to flaunt and show it off. Nope. One video from the Superman homepage, and all it was showing what the book looked like for a contest.
Wow.
And I'm like, thank you. That doesn't, and it was still in the cellophane wrap, so it's like you don't even get to see what's inside the book. So that irked the living daylights out of me. I went as far as to try on Google search for images. Google Images, sometimes they have pictures of the book or whatever. Nope. Nothing. If you look up the Superman Files right now, you are going to get nada. Except for my unboxing video, which I actually did mention the Superman Files in there, so you'll probably find that. And the Superman homepage contest, which is now over anyway, by the way.
Wow.
And the really bad thing? It's a really good book. It's a really awesome book, and... Yes, it's $75, but you know what? Black Friday, and I believe it continued currently on Amazon, it's 50% off. It's only $30-something.
Wow.
So it's a deal right now to get this book. It's huge, blown-up pages. You have Daily Planet articles. You've got clippings from tons of different artists, tons of different eras in Superman, all the way through until, unfortunately, the New 52, which only, thank God, is about the last 2 or 3 pages. That's like towards the end of the book. So, this book is so awesome, and I've already said that probably on Wednesday I'm going to shoot a Comic Book Corner review of it for my channel, so at least there'll be something out there so you guys can see how awesome this book is. I mean, I've done it for the Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles, the collector's books. I forgot what they were called. I love how I brain freeze on that, but beside the point, the oversized Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles books, I did it, and that really got those out there, so I'm probably going to do the same thing with the Superman Files. But that drives me nuts when nobody... I mean, look, I know somebody out there has this book. I can't be the first person to purchase this book.
No, I doubt that. But now, when other people are trying to look up and see what it is, they'll find your video, so that's cool.
Right.
So you be that guy that you needed. Yeah. What?
from here.
Well, I guess we could jump into some news. There's very little of it, but...
Yeah, there is very little of it. But then again, it is the end of the year.
Yeah. And even though it would make more sense to go straight into the one DC thing, we'll say that for the end. Little piece of news. Miller World gets cosmic as Mark Miller launches a new title from Image in March 2014 called Starlight.
That's going to be interesting. I like checking out all the number ones from Image. They have some good stuff.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, he says it's Buzz Lightyear meets Unforgiven. If you've ever seen Unforgiven, that's quite the mashup there. Unforgiven's a Clint Eastwood movie.
Thank you for that. I was like, what's Unforgiven now?
Yeah, it's a Western combined with Buzz Lightyear, so that's okay. So it's Woody meet. But no. Anyway.
Let's not think too deeply into that one, yeah.
He also compares it to Flash Gordon meets The Dark Knight Returns. So.
Okay, stop comparing it now, please.
Yeah. Anyway, the cover looks really cool. I didn't share the link with you. Hopefully I'll remember to share it in the show notes and I'll post it to you here as I'm talking. The cover's by John Cassaday and it has the Starlight character who does kind of look like a Flash Gordon type. Sword fighting in space.
I see.
Yeah. It's kind of
Oh, I remember this. Wasn't this on Kickstarter?
Wasn't it?
Was it?
I don't know.
Cover looks familiar to me.
I'm not sure. But, yeah. So, it'll... Looks like it's scheduled to debut in May, but it's going to be, I don't know, it says March and then it says May, so I'm not sure which was right.
It's Marchy May.
Yeah, it's one of those. I assume because it's coming up now that it'll be March because March solicitations will be coming out soon.
Mm-hmm.
So, who knows. But it looks interesting. So, like you said, Image always puts up a few number one issues in every month, so it's always interesting to check out what they've got going on.
Yeah, they've been either a series really gets me interested or I kind of just after the first issue, I'm kind of like, okay, no.
Yeah. But, I mean, at least they're putting out new stuff all the time, so.
Which is good.
Mm. And even if even half of those are decent, I mean, that's success, so.
Mm-hmm.
All right. Marvel is back at it again with their one-word teasers.
Marvel, enough with these stupid teasers. I mean, how many books do you expect to push out in 1 year? Never mind, you're Marvel.
Yeah, I was about to say, apparently a lot. This one is Future. The creative team is Jason Latour and, I always get his name wrong, Mahmoud Asrar. And the coloring of Future is kind of like yellow and brownish, but it's got a purple
I don't
outline.
see it. You never sent me that either.
Oh, it's on Frontline. I thought you knew where it was. Sorry.
Yeah, no, I remember Jay mentioned it to me, but time. I'm going now, though. So I got it.
Fine. So, yeah, I mean, it could be several different things. So, my first thought was Wolverine, and then Jay mentioned the purple to me, and I was like, well, that doesn't sound right then.
I said to you before the show when you mentioned Future, it sounds like Future Foundation.
Yeah, but I don't know. I guess
maybe
they
it's
could
new
change
colors.
the colors.
Exactly. It could be new colors. Maybe because the Fantastic Four ended it, I believe. Maybe somebody else is going to take it over, and the only one in purple I'm thinking of. Oh God, please don't be the Hulk. Oh God, could you imagine Bruce Banner taking over the Future? Wait a minute. There was a preview with Bruce Banner talking about the Future. Oh God, you don't think Bruce Banner would take over the Future Foundation?
That would be terrible. That's possible, though. I don't know.
Because I see there were things maybe of Spider-Man 2099. He is in purple, though. He's blue. His costume is blue.
Yeah, I don't know. It could be a lot of this one threw me. So,
Yeah, this one is kind of perplexing.
Yeah, like I said, March solicitations will probably come out. If not next week, it'll be the week after. So we'll find out soon. They'll probably reveal it next week anyway. So maybe even later this week. Who knows?
They still have to reveal other teasers that they didn't reveal yet.
Did they? I thought they revealed them all in the last solicitations.
No, there's still a few more, I believe.
I don't know. I can't keep track anymore.
I gave up, yeah, because every other week it's like, oh, look, here's a new poster with the number 1 and a name.
Yeah. It's getting old.
It got old.
Yeah.
It got old way back after New York Comic Con.
Speaking of old, and kind of new, I say old, I'll make that make sense here in a minute, but Bleeding Cool has a rumor going, and this one is about DC, and if you've listened to the show or you've heard us on different other shows talking about this, you know that recently they had the rumor of the 5 years later event for next September, and they were correct with that. So now they have a new rumor that there's going to be a DC Earth War taking place like probably next summer before the 5 years later kicks off. The reason I say old is because that very much puts me in mind of Crisis.
Yeah, a lot.
So, yeah, and their theory is that it involves Earth 2.
But if they're gonna fight Earth 2, right? How is that gonna spin them out and push them into 5? Well, then again, if it takes place on Earth 2 when the superheroes go back to the main DCU, maybe they can push it 5 years into the future.
Yeah.
Oh God, I don't even know anymore. I take my DC and Marvel like I take my Coca-Cola, 1 cup at a time.
Yeah. Is there a Nightwing in Earth 2? Because I've not been reading anything. Okay.
No, only Batman, and as they spoiled already, it's Bruce's father.
Yeah.
That's all they got. And Superman apparently is either brainwashed or he is Apocalypse now. Hopefully they'll be able to save Superman, but I doubt that.
But there could possibly be a Dick Grayson there somewhere, right?
Oh yeah, there's always a possibility.
Oh, I got a bad feeling now.
I think that everybody should leave poor Dick alone.
No, I'm just saying, if something, I could see something, if that's a possibility, if they are going to do this Earth 2 thing, I could see a possibility of going through with those fears of killing off Nightwing during Forever Evil, just to bring an alternate version back somehow.
No, that would be dumb. It wouldn't work out.
It's the new 52.
It'd be funny if Dick Grayson becomes the new Red Hood and Talon becomes the new Nightwing.
What would happen to Jason Todd?
He becomes somebody completely different.
He becomes Batman.
No, don't even joke.
I'd rather see
I
Nightwing.
don't want to remember Battle of the Cowl. Oh, man.
No, oh God, that was awful. That was so bad.
It was fun to read, but at the same time, at the time I wasn't really into Batman, so reading it was like, ha ha ha, look at all these people running around trying to be Batman. It's gonna be Dick, duh.
Oh, I thought it was awful. I hated that series. So.
I thought it was funny. Especially when Two-Face came out in the Batman costume, I was like, yeah. You done screwed up.
Yeah. Oh, there was another little piece. It's not really news, but I guess it kind of is. I posted a story on this on Comic Related, and I showed it to you. I don't know if you ever got to check it out or not. But Weapon Brown.
Yes, I did.
Did you?
The oversized Charlie Brown. Oh my God! I was like, I wanted to support the Kickstarter, but the Kickstarter, when I looked, it was supported already by $38,000.
It ended with their original goal, I think, was $12,000. They ended with $45,555.
Wow.
So
I wanted the shirt, but then I'm like, that's Charlie Brown with a cybernetic arm. No.
But it's hilarious. It's called Weapon Brown. The funny page is weaponized, and it's basically just that. It's a stylized adventure version of your favorite comic strips. It's got Dilbert and Garfield and all these different comic characters in there.
I'm scared to see how they're going to depict Garfield.
Oh, he was like this. He was like this mutated, monstrous cat creature.
I remember in the clips I saw Popeye. He looked good, and somewhere I saw Snoopy.
Yeah, they've got the Sarge from Beetle Bailey in there. He's like this big muscle dude, and it's crazy. The video that they had with it at the very end, it had the cyborg Charlie Brown kicking Lucy in the face as she drops the football.
I didn't get to see the video, but I would like to now.
Yeah, it's funny. I would recommend checking this out. It's one of those zany things that it's one of those unique things that comes across every once in a while. So,
I'm actually loading the video. I'm loading the video up just to watch it. I have no volume.
Well, that's good because
then I wouldn't be able to hear you.
But no, congratulations to them for getting it funded. The guy's name is Jason Youngbluth, and he's done a series called Deep Fried before, and his website's whatisdeepfried.com if anybody wants to look it up.
He should do some stuff with other main characters like DC. Oh, never mind, we have the New 52. We don't need a re-kicked off version. I'm sorry, I'm still watching the cartoon. Wow.
Oh, that's okay. And just to mention, they unlocked 9 stretch goals, I think. So they got up to 9 levels. So what stretch goals could you have for a comic except for extra pages or the next story they're planning? For him, he added wallpapers, trading cards. If he got to a certain level, he was going to print an omnibus, because this is actually volume 1 of 2 volumes. So he's going to...
Oh my god, I just saw Garfield.
Yeah. A new short story is one of the stretch goals. New pinups, a sketchbook,
so
different things.
My question is, how is this book going to come to be? Because obviously Boom isn't going to fund it or publish it, so it's just going to come out as an independent book?
Yeah.
I want to know when it comes out. I want one. I just saw the kicking in the face.
Yep.
That sold me. That sold me.
I
want one.
Yeah. It's pretty cool. So there you go. Weapon Brown. Check it out.
Not to be confused with Weapon X.
Exactly. Alright. So that's officially all the news that we have, at least comic-wise. I could tease something comic-related wise.
Why not?
Actually, a couple of things. There is a new podcast debuting on comic-related this week that we teased last week. On the site, anyway. I don't think I mentioned it on the show. I can't remember.
I think you did make a brief mention about... yeah, you did actually. You said that there was one that you were in talk with.
Okay. It's called Castbender, and it's a podcast about Avatar: The Last Airbender and The Legend of Korra, those TV shows. And it's, if I'm not mistaken, I think it's a couple of film students that do it.
So my question is, what happens when it goes off the air? Like right now, they're in this finale kind of situation.
Yeah, they probably do seasonal stuff. I don't know.
Okay.
But I think they're just now coming back from a break, actually. But they're going to debut on Thursday on Comic Related. So the day after you hear this, you can go check out Castbender. And, of course, all those new podcasts are on the site as well. A new episode of X Nation went up on Tuesday. Or on Monday, rather. It's one of the new shows over on Comic Related. And the other thing I was going to tease was the event hubs that we're having.
Yeah.
We're designing a new page on Comic Related.
Brant, we or you?
Comic Related collectively. I'm not. Anyway, we're designing and we're going to debut a new event hubs page where we're going to collect the various hubs of various events like Infinity. And when I say hub, I'm talking about a coverage archive. Has all the different stories tied into that event that we've covered, reviews, previews, articles, what have you.
Now that's a we, yes.
Yeah, definitely. So, like, we've had the Infinity Hub on the front page of Comic Related for a while now.
That's all you.
Well, that hub and all the other hubs are going to be on one single page that you can just click into, and you can find whatever storyline you're looking for, and then click into that and find all this other coverage. So, yeah.
And you know what bothered me, and we were talking about this yesterday a little bit. Marvel is really underscoring their Cataclysm event.
Yeah, they're underselling it, definitely. They if you don't know, Marvel.com has a list. They have like different hubs of their own. They have I forget what they call them. I guess it's an event index, and they list all their featured events. A through Z, you can go on there and you can find them going all the way back to stuff like Civil War, the Civil War. I mean, they have all this stuff. Spider Island, Annihilation, all this stuff, all the way up to the present stuff. But one specific event is obviously missing, which is Cataclysm.
And I'm sorry, but there's something wrong with that because, I mean, first of all, Marvel sold us this it's like a product, but they sold us this story claiming that this was going to be the end, quote unquote, of the Ultimate Universe. Mm-hmm. If that's the case, then this is a major, maybe not in the 616, but it's a major event.
Yeah, no, definitely. And I would think that it would be up there, even though I'm looking through this and I don't see any of the past Ultimate events either. Which is
no Ultimatum either?
No. That's weird.
Okay, so apparently they are racist against the Ultimate Universe. So thanks for creating something, Marvel, and then completely giving it the back door.
Yeah, exactly. But, yeah, and the weird thing is Age of Ultron is up there, and inside it is Hunger, which was the prelude to Cataclysm.
Well, if you look up Cataclysm, it's not, even in the solicits, it's not under the Ultimate Comics. It's just its own comic. There are, to be honest, no Ultimate Comics listings anymore.
Well,
I mean, I know it is. I mean, let's be honest. It is the Ultimate Universe. It's Ultimate Comics. But they're not putting it under that banner.
Yeah, well, I mean, it's bridging between the two because of the events of Age of Ultron and Galactus crossing over. So I guess technically in their mind it's not an Ultimate event. I don't know. But it still should be listed. It should be one of the events.
Absolutely, yeah. And I'll tell you right now, I don't want to hear no Ultimate now or Ultimate, all new Ultimate Comics now or just stupid stuff like that. I think it's dumb that Marvel keeps changing the title of their company. You're Marvel, get used to it, love it, live it, or don't be part of the company. You know what? Just don't be a part of the company. Let's start over.
You know they weren't always called Marvel, right?
Yeah, I know.
Okay.
Marvel Entertainment, Marvel, yeah.
It used to be called Timely.
Timely, yeah, I know. But Marvel is there, like, when Spider-Man and everything started happening, it was Marvel Comics.
Mm-hmm.
So, stick with it. Stop changing. Next thing you know, they're going to start calling themselves... Forget what I was thinking. Keep moving.
Yeah. Before we
you don't want to know what I was thinking.
Yeah, before we get into too much of our rant phase, maybe we should just jump into some comics.
And you don't want me to rant?
Well, I wanted you to save it for the actual comic.
Okay then.
That's all. Oh, I got to tell you this though first. In the events, they don't have Cataclysm, but they do have Marvel Now. That's not even an event.
It's not even an event, is right.
So, yeah.
See, you don't even need a bachelor's degree to become an editor over at Marvel.
Wow, they have the other. They have the other, and they don't have Cataclysm. That's sad.
I'm not saying anything.
Right.
All I will say is, one book that we're not going to talk about that I read, since we're talking about Marvel, we'll start with Marvel. 2 books. One was a letdown. It was, again, Scarlet Spider with the whole, I don't want to be Scarlet Spider. I mean, how many times are we going to hear that before? Well, never mind. Next issue is the last issue. And Hawkeye, I actually thought it was okay with Kate Bishop, but I really wish they'd stop jumping between Kate and Clint and just stay with one story at a time.
Yeah. I don't know. I'm not reading that one. So.
I know you're not reading that one, but I know you're reading Scarlet, and I didn't want to spoil it, so I'm not gonna, but let's just say everything that's happened in Scarlet Spider basically ends up at his door by the end of the issue.
Gotcha.
And I mean that metaphorically and at a quite literal sense.
Wow. All right. That should be interesting to read when I get to it.
I'm sure it will be.
All right, and real quickly, since we're mentioning books that one of us has read that the other one hasn't, I will briefly mention Infinity.
Oh, yes, the last issue.
Yeah, last issue of the main miniseries, not the last issue of the story, which makes no sense to me, whatever.
It's Marvel.
Yeah, New Avengers is pretty much an epilogue, though, so it's not really... It does pretty much end in Infinity #6. And it came out a week ago, so I'm not going to spoil it too... I don't want to spoil it too bad, but I will say that it ended not too bad. I think the first couple of issues and the last couple of issues were decent. The middle two, you could completely do without.
Wow.
Yeah, I know. It's just because the middle two and all the Avengers, New Avengers tie-ins and everything, I think you can get the gist of everything in those. It could have really been just a solo 4-issue series, and you would have gotten the picture. But anyway.
Wow.
I know. But there was some build up with Thanos and what happened with him in the end and his son and all that stuff that kind of set the course going forward was very interesting, and it also, of course, led into Inhumanity and what happened with the Inhumans and Black Bolt supposedly dying and all this stuff. So for that purpose, I think it was a decent story because it was kind of springboarding into a whole new status quo for Marvel. So. And what was the other book I was going to mention? I don't even remember now.
That was a DC book. Aquaman.
Okay. Oh, yeah. Okay, thank you. I'll wait till we get to DC then.
So let's talk about your favorite book first, since it's the last issue of the series, Avengers Arena. I'm curious to hear what you actually thought about the book.
I was not expecting it to end quite the way it did.
Neither did I. It ended kind of with a clean solution.
Yeah, it honestly... Now, one thing I do want to say is because we all thought that maybe because this is arcade, that maybe these kids weren't really dying, and that, this was all, somehow they were going to come back, it was going to be a computerized or in their heads or whatever. Not the case. They did not pull punches with that. These kids actually did die, as far as we know. So, any kid that died on the way through these 18 issues, they're dead. They're gone. So, I respect them for sticking to their guns with that, because that was a twist. But at the same time, I feel like all this time it was, it was dire consequences. It was suspenseful and everything. And then, like you said, it just had this clean ending. And it was like, really?
Yeah, it's like, oh, hey, look, we found the kids. And then, what really got me? What really pissed me off?
What's that?
The last page. Arcade opened up a YouTube channel. What really happened in Murder World?
But I like that because what they were afraid of, that they, at the end, I don't want to spoil too much, but they were talking about, people are going to look at us a certain way, and we don't want that, so we're going to control the story, and then he has the real story, so it could cause some problems for a bunch of these characters for a while to come. Yeah. So I mean
that's why we get Undercover.
Yeah, exactly. Which now it makes a little bit more sense. I did like. I don't know if you read the I don't know what you call it, the writer Dennis Hopeless. He wrote like a farewell article in the end.
No.
Okay, I read that, and it was interesting because he was like, "This was not the series I wanted to write." As a matter of fact,
that's always a good way to start it.
As a matter of fact, he hated the idea. He had pitched his favorite series was Runaways, and he likes shows like Friday Night Lights and stuff like that. He wanted to tell a teen drama at a superhero school. That's the story he pitched. But in his pitch, there was towards the end the whole story that he was pitching culminated in rival schools competing to the death. And Axel Alonso pointed out those two sentences, kids fighting to the death, and said, "There's your story, go with that."
Wow.
Yeah.
And this is why Axel Alonso is in charge of Marvel.
Well,
don't question him, man.
Hey, it was a sleeper hit, and I thoroughly enjoyed it, so, you know. But
I mean, a lot of people want a Runaways book too, Brant.
True. No, I agree with that. And hopefully maybe one day we'll get one. So, but no, I thought it was an okay ending. It was just kind of softer than I expected. Now, one thing that is interesting that comes out of it, we'll talk about when we get to another book.
Yes, and that's actually where I wanted to actually go from here. So this way, it's kind of like that interconnected kind of thing.
Yeah, sure, go for it.
All New X-Men issue 19.
Mm-hmm.
What is the name of those the people that are against the mutants that are the cult that they're fighting here? I don't know what they're called.
I don't think they mention it there. They do
have a name.
Yeah, is it the same ones that they fought in the past?
Yes.
Okay.
Can't remember them.
Yeah, I can't remember the name either.
But they're a religious cult, and they believe that mutants are evil, and they all have to be killed because it's the will of God. And It's the all new X-Men versus them, and they're there to help a mutant that at first they believe is a new mutant, but then it turns out to be X-23 Laura. And Kitty Pryde's trying to snap her out of it while the all new X-Men are fighting the Radicals, which is what I'm guessing I'm going to call them for now. And Cyclops tries to reason with the police and stuff. That doesn't work, which is kind of dumb. It's like, geez, man, you do realize you're the young version of the evilest person on the planet right now, right?
Yeah.
It's like, that was a dope kind of move.
Mm-hmm.
Just a little bit. And then the ending has a bald and beaten up, at least the clothes, not the body, but her clothes, beaten up X-23, who doesn't know who she is and doesn't remember anything.
Yeah, which is crazy because obviously, I say obviously, but maybe some people weren't reading Avengers Arena, but she was one of the major characters in Avengers Arena, and last couple issues she's been kind of MIA, so...
Maybe they'll explore a little bit more about what happened to X-23 after Avengers Arena in All New X-Men.
Yeah.
But she's completely mind-wiped.
Yeah.
She doesn't know anything.
I wonder if that'll happen before or after she kisses Cyclops.
I know, in the next issue, and she's bald.
Well, I mean, she's got a healing factor, so it probably grows fast. I remember... Huh?
My question is, if she... I know she has a healing factor, and I know Wolverine, everything, the hair grows back too, but she's bald, dude. Like, she's completely healed and everything, but she's bald.
Yeah, I know, but there was an issue of Wolverine back in the probably early 90s, maybe late 80s, where Wolverine shaved he gave himself a haircut, shaved his beard and everything, and by the time he got outside to get on his motorcycle, he had a full beard and that hairstyle again. Seriously.
That's the point, so they could just literally just... Yeah, true.
Yeah, it's like pointless.
It is. I'm sorry, I forgot I was talking about Marvel.
Yeah, exactly. But no, I'll say I wasn't crazy about the art style in this book.
I thought the art was okay in this book.
No, it wasn't bad. It made them look completely different than we've been used to seeing them.
Very true.
So it was a little. I mean, I guess it's a new direction, so they're trying something new. So I understand it, but it made them look a little bit older than they're supposed to be to me.
True. Yeah. And did you see that one scene where Angel drops one of the radicals, and as he's falling, all you see is like a half silhouetted face of Angel, and he won't save him, and then Iceman saves him?
Mm-hmm. Yep.
That's a little dark.
Yep, a little Archangel in there.
Yeah, they wouldn't show that panel if they weren't trying to foreshadow something.
Oh, yeah. No doubt.
That's a little dark.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, he's definitely drank the Kool-Aid. Something, I don't know what's going on with him.
If you want to call it Kool-Aid, fine. Kool-Aid and Gnarly-Aid more than anything else.
Sure.
You want to do, actually, since we're in X-Men, let's go through the last two X-Men books. Do you want to do Cataclysm?
Let's do Wolverine and X-Men first, because that makes more sense.
You do it. Yeah, you do it then.
Alright. First of all, I really did like the art in this book.
I did too, yes.
Even though Iceman was really blue. I don't know if you noticed that.
Yeah, I'm glad you pointed that out. I was going to ask you. He was like blue shaded.
Yeah, and it's funny too because he was like on a tirade with the students because Kitty was gone. But anyway, I'm getting ahead of myself. They get these two new students, and S.H.I.E.L.D. shows up on their doorstep, and they're like, it's like this whole intense situation between Maria Hill and Wolverine because of the whole Sentinels thing and all this stuff, and Wolverine's, like, you should be apologizing. And she's like, no, we're just here to let you know we're watching and all this stuff. But it was fun seeing Brew take the students around and showing them the school and stuff. That was hilarious. But
I like math class. Let's start at the math.
Yeah, of course, until his Danger Room exam started in the middle of nowhere and he had to jump into a bubble or something.
Yeah, I thought that was dumb, though. At any moment, the Danger Room can take over, and you have to fight for your life. So, when you pee, how did he say it? Pee cautiously or something like that.
Take a defensive stance. I thought it was funny. I'm sorry.
I'd never go to that school. That's like going to public school and they say, pee in a defensive stance. You never know when somebody's going to come up behind you and give you right between the legs.
Yeah, that's true. Yeah, that's not the safest school in the world. Maybe that's why it closes down. No, that's not the reason. We know the reason now.
Do you see it? Do you see it forming at the end of this issue?
Yeah. I don't know who they are, but yeah. Which is interesting, and I don't want to spoil that because that's a pretty big thing.
One thing I would like to mention, but it's not really a spoiler, but it might be if you haven't been reading Uncanny X-Men like I did to you by accident, not knowingly. Apparently, Dazzler, who's working with S.H.I.E.L.D., isn't really Dazzler, she's Mystique.
Yeah.
And I had to read Uncanny X-Men to know that, and that kind of annoyed me because I don't want to read Uncanny X-Men.
Well, yeah, but I mean, the way that I wasn't so upset that you spoiled it after I read it because it was just like this, oh, by the way.
It's a little box. That's why I said don't be upset with me because you're going to see. They're just going to say in a little box.
Yeah. So, I mean, I didn't mind that because, sometimes, I don't know, that's an old school thing too. By the way, in this issue, this happened.
I love how they added, if you want to know more, you should be reading Uncanny X-Men. No.
So, yeah, I didn't know that. I really thought it was Dazzler, so I don't know where that's going. But
really? I thought that her attitude was pretty bitchy toward, afterwards. Not like in the beginning, but afterwards.
Well, I mean, I knew who she was at that point because you'd already told me. I'm talking about before this issue.
Oh.
I thought it was Dazzler. But
yeah, same here.
Yeah. So, I don't know. It was one thing I did like, which I want to see where this is going, is I don't know if you caught it, but they kind of set up Wolverine and Cyclops to be at the same place at the same time.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. Yeah. Mm-hmm. I didn't like the ending. About the two. Well, I don't want to spoil it, but about the two students.
You didn't like that?
I didn't because it's like, okay, alright, we're gonna have to spoil it to discuss this, but apparently the two students work for Dazzler. But the question is, do they work for Dazzler / S.H.I.E.L.D., or do they work for Mystique?
I think they work for Mystique.
That's what I think too, because they got guns.
Yeah. I think they're there to take the school down. Somehow.
Most likely.
Yeah. I don't know who they are.
I don't know who they are either. They're weird.
Well, I mean, that's not their real faces or bodies, so it's...
No, yeah.
It's kind of...
Squid face.
Yeah. I did like how the shark guy thought she looked tasty. Because she was like, a squid and he was a shark.
You're so delectable.
Yeah. Alright, so the last X-Men book.
Which really isn't an X-Men book, it's Cataclysm, and apparently it takes up after where the last story arc in X-Men left off, so that's why I kind of was... do you read Ultimate X-Men?
Nope.
Okay, so you wouldn't know where this is taking up after either.
Nope.
So you were lost at the beginning too?
Yep.
Okay then. So we were both lost at the beginning, so we're going to skip it. I love the artwork though, and Iceman wasn't so blue in this. It's actually white. White, blue.
Yeah.
Before I step myself into a hole, I'm going to move away from Iceman and continue the story. What I did like about this book, that I didn't like about, well, not that I didn't like, but that kind of made me say they needed to have at least one more Ultimate Spider-Man issue before jumping into Cataclysm was, in the beginning of the book, Galactus shows up right away.
Yeah.
So right away you know it's a Cataclysm book.
Right.
The thing that kind of threw me for a loop was apparently Pixie has the ability to teleport, and they teleport away to where Rick Jones was, and Rick Jones is back really quickly.
Mm-hmm.
I don't know if you felt the same way I did, but after Hunger, I thought we weren't going to see Rick Jones at least until the end of, if at all, at the end of Cataclysm.
I did, but at the same time, it's like, he's still in this place wherever he's supposed to be. We're just going there instead of him coming back, so.
Very true. And he's older now. He's not a kid anymore. He's an adult.
But he's a spaz. It says so on the page.
I died laughing. It's like, holy shit, that's Rick Jones. That guy's a total spaz.
Yeah. You know, I don't know. I mean, I liked the fact, I mean, even though I was lost from where the storyline was going, I liked the fact that just in the middle of the story, you see Galactus walking around. And it's like, what the heck is that? What's the big purple dude in the sky? I thought that was an interesting way to do it, so.
Mm-hmm. But most of the issue was about them saving Pixie, and when Pixie sees Galactus, it's like, freak out!
Yeah. And then, of course, they jump into that place that you mentioned, and that's where the Galactus swarm is. And they're trying to infect. Yeah, so.
The next cover, it looks like they're going to infect somebody.
Yeah.
I'm not too happy about that.
That's interesting. You know, if they do end up crossing over the universes and everything, I hate to say this because I know there's too many of them running around anyway, but I like this, the guy with the Wolverine-like abilities.
Oh, his son?
Is that his son? Okay.
That's his son. Yeah, that's, oh God, is it James? I want to make
it's
sure.
It's Johnny, I thought.
I think so too. Hold on. I'll be sure. I'm just going to check right away. Jimmy.
Okay, Jimmy James. Yeah, okay. Gotcha. I like him. So.
He's really cool. I remember I got the story arc about him and about their Wolverine having a son. It was really interesting. I just stopped reading X-Men because it got really creepy and weird after Ultimatum.
Gotcha. But no, I mean, I thought it was okay. It was a decent issue. So. Interesting seeing the Ultimate Universe version of Strong Guy.
Yeah, I was wondering who he was. I actually had to look him up.
Guido. So, where to next?
Well, there's one book, and then there's two books from the same family. You want to do the two books connecting first, and then go to the last one? I would like to leave the last one for last, because a big issue.
You totally confused. Okay, I get what you're saying. Okay, yeah.
You got what you liar. You know exactly. I could say something that nobody on this planet would understand, but you would.
No, it actually did take me a second. I was like, oh, okay. Because I was trying to remember which books we were talking about. So which one you want to say for last? The one by itself or the two family?
The one by itself.
Okay, gotcha. All right, so Superior Carnage?
Sure.
All right. So this was the finale of the mini-series that kind of, as you put it beforehand, unwrote the entire last year of Carnage stories. So.
It did!
It did, in a way, but in a good way, I think.
Yeah.
And basically, we left it where Wizard was getting infected with the symbiote, and he's like all carnagey and fighting everybody, and you know.
I love how you say he's all carnagey. He was carnage.
I know.
You have a hard time saying it, don't you?
And Claw is like dead, but he's in the sound waves, and it's this weird thing with him throughout this issue that kind of started annoying me.
Yeah.
But you know, he used all his power to expel him, but I thought it was interesting the way they. All right, obviously, I'm gonna spoil this. We've seen like the teasers and the solicitations. We've talked about it on the show, but basically, this was a way to get the Carnage symbiote back into Cletus Cassidy, and to have that version of Carnage come back at some future point that's not too far off,
and also to have it a smart Carnage again.
Exactly. So basically, the way this went down is the Wizard, his mind was actually repaired by being fused with Carnage. So once Carnage gets back into Cletus Cassidy, you should be able to figure that out, what happens to the brain dead Cletus Cassidy. So there you go.
One thing I thought was funny, though, remember how we were making fun of... Remember we were doing the podcast and you're like, oh, wait, you're right. Where I was like, Brant, the Wizard left the warehouse, and you're like, yeah. And I said, the Wizard blew up the warehouse, right? And you're like, yeah. And I said, Cletus Cassidy's body's in there, and you're like, oh.
Mm-hmm.
They actually made sure to cover all bases. They dug him out of the destroyed...
Yeah, they did. Spider-Man actually brought him out. He's like... You never know what you leave unattended. So, and it was like Cletus Cassidy's half mangled body.
He was charbroiled on one side.
So yeah, they did cover the bases. So kudos for that.
They listened to our show.
Yeah. But I know that you're not happy that it like undid, minimum carnage and all that. Yeah. I'm
not unhappy it undid minimum carnage. I'm unhappy that basically a year's worth of good Carnage storytelling that you had the ability to have some really good Carnage stories. You have 2 Carnage stories this year. And what Marvel did was they gave us minimum Carnage, which was a minimum disaster, and then they had to give us Superior Carnage to fix what they did in minimum Carnage. So basically it took them a year to fix a mess that they started.
Yeah.
Wait, let me correct myself. It took them a half a year to correct what they messed up at the beginning half of the year.
Mm-hmm.
So now we have to wait till 2014 before we have another chance at a good Carnage story. And by the way, I will say this. Carnage was really awesome because there weren't so many series. He showed up only once in a while. Having 2 to 3 series where Carnage is involved now, it's kind of dulling the character a bit.
Yeah, I don't know. I'm just
my opinion.
Yeah, I'm excited to see him back at full force, and I want to see what they do with him. So.
Yeah. I mean, because be honest, when they did that first Carnage miniseries, it was awesome, right?
I didn't read it.
Wow.
Yeah.
Okay.
Is that the Carnage USA one? Is that the one you're talking about? Or?
I think that's the second one.
Okay.
Carnage USA was good too. And then it's like, after that, it's like, okay, what can we do next? Minimum Carnage! No!
That was a stupid idea, yeah.
And then, let's be honest here, the second issue of Superior Carnage was definitely not brain work either.
No, I mean Superior Carnage overall as a miniseries was just okay.
Yeah.
It's just there were certain things that happened throughout it that were really cool. So.
Yeah. And the last issue was real. The revelation at the end was worth it.
Yeah.
Other than that, it wasn't even worth reading anything Carnage this year.
Yeah, true. So let's move on to a different Superior book.
Superior Spider-Man 22, which, by the way, there was no Superior Spider-Man until the end of the book. It was all oh, God, I gotta talk about this. You gave me, what a book. It was all about Parker Industries starting
Hi, yes.
Hi.
Hi.
God.
As in the mathematical symbol.
Thank you! Thank you. I know.
I was explaining that to our listeners. P.I.
Also, is the term for pee. I have to go to the bathroom after reading this.
You spent a lot of time there.
Hey, what a man does in his office is his own business. One thing I do kind of feel a little left out on is they're talking about the events that happened to May Parker here, and I didn't read the special yet, so I'm getting the annual next week, or next episode I'll have it, so I'll be able to understand why she's walking around with a cane and why Doc Ock Spidey was able to fix that, and she's now able to walk again. Mm-hmm. And then there's Anna Marie, and there's that whole, I learned life is too precious, so what you want, you take it.
Yep.
And he took it.
Until he got called away.
No, he didn't. No, he didn't.
He said, no. Yes, he did. He was swinging through, and he said, you couldn't have called at the worst possible time.
I'm sure that they were in the middle of it.
I know. I didn't say that. I'm just saying. They had an audience, too.
John must have been so uncomfortable reading that.
They had an audience. Bioluminescent fish.
I don't know. No. So anyway, Venom's back in town because Crime Master is back somehow. Betty actually contacts him and says, I think Crime Master somehow is back. Mm-hmm. And yeah, that turns out to be a farce. Apparently, the original Crime Master basically tried to pass the franchise off to somebody else.
Well, he got it from the Hobgoblin, so it was right. It's all tied into Goblin Nation somehow.
Of course. And also J. Jonah Jameson is hatching a plan against Spider-Man using his own Spider-Bots against him, possibly. Mm-hmm. And... oh, do I have to talk about the ending? Apparently...
you mistake me for somebody that cares.
Yeah, exactly, because Venom thinks Spider-Man's there to help him with Crime Master, and because it's Doc Ock Spidey and he's stupid... and by the way, Venom is a card-carrying Secret Avenger, so there's something wrong here. I'm surprised the Avengers don't intervene, but basically, Spider-Man gets into this huge fight with Venom. Flash goes, dude, it's me, Flash. You know me. I have control of the symbiote. It's fine. He's like what Brant said, sorry, you mistake me for somebody who cares.
Talk about ruining the concept of hero worship. He just destroyed his hero.
Yeah.
Poor guy.
But that's not his hero.
Well, Spider-Man is, so.
But that's not Spider-Man.
It is Spider-Man, it's just not Peter Parker.
He's not Spider-Man.
Technically he's still Peter Parker, too, so I mean it's...
well, technically, you just be quiet. I don't want to hear it. That's Doc Ock, and I can't wait for Peter Parker or somebody to come back and kick his you-know-what in.
Let's see. Despite all that, I like the issue.
I like the issue,
yeah.
Yes.
It wasn't the best issue of the series, but it was good.
Midget sex.
You also left out the, don't say that, that's, dude.
That's what happened!
Anyway.
That's what happened! I let Michael read that, and that's the first thing he looked at me and said, really?
Anyway, you left out the part about Carly Cooper.
I know, I did that on purpose.
Okay. I'll just tease that they're still continuing on that line. So.
Who's the woman that was actually looking into? I forgot her name.
Wraith.
Wraith.
Yeah. I can't remember her. Watanabe, maybe. Is that her? Detective?
No, yes, thank you, Watanabe. Yeah, Officer Watanabe. So now that I did that wonderful book, Brent gets the really super cool book.
Nova number 10, or 100, depending on your count. So, this was the actual official 100th issue of Nova, since it launched in various forms since 1976. So.
I actually have the first issue. I actually was looking through the covers. I'm like, I have the very first ever Nova book.
Nice. That's awesome.
It's worth $5.
But, I know some people didn't like this issue, but I actually really had fun with it.
How could you not? Wait. People didn't like this issue?
A couple of my friends, yeah, they hated it. They thought it was stupid.
I liked it.
Oh, I did too.
It helped mature Sam's character.
Yeah, and not only that, I mean, the lead story was like this tribute, this homage to Richard Rider, the previous Nova, and it showed all these different flashback scenes and stuff. And, at the same time, you had Sam trying to decide whether he was going to be a new Avenger or not, and all this stuff. And I love this part where he's like, with his mom, he's like, Thor, the God of Thunder, asked me personally to be a member of the Avengers, and you said no, but you're going to say yes to these two knuckleheads?
I laughed at that.
Yeah, I thought that was hilarious. But, that lead story was just a lot of fun and nostalgia, and that's all it was supposed to be. And then that's the second story is where he kind of grew up, and it kind of leads into the next arc for the solo series and stuff, and that was really good too. So
that was a shocker ending, if you ask me, for the second story.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. So. Oh.
But in the first one, I just wanted to make mention that the Watcher actually gave Sam some previous, like you said, the cameos of Rider. He was showing him as a Guardian of the Galaxy, not a Guardian, as a new warrior, and then in the in the alternate where Sam wanted to join the Avengers, Sam saw that basically it must have been during the Infinity Gauntlet.
Mm-hmm.
The Avengers didn't even need Nova. Nova was in the background, so the moral was, you got to be with the people that need you.
Exactly.
More than the people you want to be with just because they're cool.
Right. Exactly. Yeah, it was a great message. I don't understand why people wouldn't get that or appreciate it. So. And then, of course, you had that cute little 2-page story at the end, too. Which was funny.
That was hilarious.
Yeah.
It's your son's turn now, Sam.
Yeah. So, that was a preview of Nova, air quote, 1000.
But I think this was a very important issue for Nova, and I think it was a very good issue. It shows that, you know what? Nova, Sam could have joined the Avengers, but who would he have been? One out of a million other Avengers.
Yeah.
He's better off being with the New Warriors because the New Warriors actually need him, whereas the Avengers, they'd like to have him on the team, but do they need a Nova?
Right.
No.
Yeah.
Well, whoever said this book was not good, you tell them to give a hearty listen to this review, because there is no way this book belongs anywhere below 5 stars. It was good.
Oh, I agree. I totally agree. So, there you go.
So if you give any lower star rating, go join Comic Vine, where they give 5-star ratings to 1-star books and 2-star ratings to 5-star books.
Yeah, for the record,
I'm just kidding.
I think I gave it a 4.5. Sorry.
You what?
Yeah. So. I'm very stingy with my 5 stars. I'm sorry. It was good. It was a very good book, though.
It was that last 2 pages that gave that half star off.
No, I like that.
I did look at the covers, and there's a few Nova books I might actually look into, like the one with Venom on the cover. That was nice.
Yeah.
They did the thing, by the way, everybody. The thing where they show every single cover all 100 issues of Nova covers. Yeah, they did that. And that's it for Marvel.
Yep. Should we talk some DC?
Yes, let's talk about the books that we both didn't read. Since you did Nova, I'm going to jump into these really quick. If you guys want a real Superman story, like if you want the Superman, you must read Adventures of Superman. This was the best. This is my book of the week. Adventures of Superman, which is a digital first series, but trust me, you get it hard. You can get a physical copy later or wait for the physical copies like I do. Worth the read each and every month. It's so good to see the words Adventures, to see the title Adventures of Superman back, because they had canceled Adventures along with Man of Steel a long time ago. We're still waiting for Man of Steel and Man of Tomorrow to come back, but I doubt those will ever come back since we got Unchained and Batman, Superman, and Superman Wonder Woman right now. But beside the point, it's nice to see an old title still with the classic look and the classic Superman. This is your Superman book. This is the true Superman. The New 52 Superman could not hold a candle to this Superman, in my opinion. Speaking of Superman, in Superman number 25, it was the end of Krypton Returns. We got to see we didn't see this coming, death of Superboy.
Yeah, which they referenced in Teen Titans, which we'll get to.
Yes. But apparently, I'm sure, Brent, you're not reading Superman, so this won't impact you in any way, shape, or form. Superboy, after saving Argo City, which now I have to go back and buy Supergirl issue 0 for a reason that I won't say, because you have to read this book to find out why. But Superboy's the one that saves Argo City, and he's basically on Krypton when it explodes. Goodbye, Superboy.
Oh.
And that's it. So this story kind of had I would say it's an average story.
Okay.
I would say like a 3.5, maybe borderline 4. Was it the biggest Superman event of the year? Like they tried to promote it? No. Not really at all. It was another Hell story, but Hell's gone now, and he'll never come back again. And then Larfleeze issue 5. I know Brant reads it, so I'm not going to give anything away there. But if you haven't been reading Larfleeze because you thought it was like too Deadpool, like DC Universe version of Deadpool, too comedical, things take a serious turn in this book. And when I say a serious turn, I mean things get real serious. There are still little funny ha-ha hee-hees, but it definitely gets a little bit more serious than what it's been. It's not as jokey. It's not such a joke book anymore as it is an actual, serious book at times. It actually takes on a serious tone this time.
Gotcha. Interesting.
And that's all I got. I'm sure you'll want to talk about Nightwing together because you read it, so.
Yeah.
What books do you have, Brent?
The only main DC book that I read that you didn't, I think, was Aquaman 25, which I gave either a 4 or 4.5 in my review on Ink. It was the end of the Death of a King storyline, where, it was basically Aquaman in the trench fighting this dead king and the rest of Atlantis and this other tribe called Zeeble, to take back Atlantis and become its rightful king again. So, it was an interesting story, and it kind of teases the next event, which was Rise of the Seven Seas, which there used to be these 7 kingdoms that ruled the 7 seas, and now we know that they're still out there, and they're going to rise up, and it's going to be this big event. But it was a fitting end. The art continues to be gorgeous in this book. I really enjoyed the end of the story. I still think Aquaman's one of the best books of the New 52. So
I'm going to be jumping on the next issue.
Okay.
So I just want I jumped in at the end of this story arc, and I'm kind of left going, what?
Yeah. Now Yeah, I'm sorry. I thought you were done.
No, that's it. I was saying. So I moved to this next issue that's coming out this month.
Gotcha. I'm kind of concerned, when Jeff Johns leaves, if it's going to continue to be good.
Well, after what's been going on with Green Lantern, don't keep your hopes too high.
Well, it depends on who's taking it over, which I cannot remember at the time right now. So.
I don't remember either at the time.
Yeah. But we'll see.
It can't get any worse.
Hey. Aquaman's fantastic.
No, I'm saying it can't get any worse because Aquaman's been through the lowest of points before pre-New 52.
Oh, well, that's true. Yeah.
Things can only get better unless he loses his hand again.
Oh, don't say that. Please don't say that.
No, they do that again. That's just stupid.
Yeah. All right.
So, Brent, I'm actually interested in your opinion on Nightwing 25. Now that I actually read it, I was actually wondering, now that we're getting into the Us books, what did you think about Nightwing 25 before we get into this week's books?
What was the Haley Circus? I mean, there was the whole he could be responsible for his parents' death thing, but that aside... I
don't understand. How could he be responsible for his parents' death?
I'm trying to remember.
Yeah, exactly. I didn't see that. Was it the guy at the end? Was it CJ's father?
I did see it. I'm having a hard time remembering because I just read so many books that everything's kind of blurring together.
All right. Well, let me give the rundown of the book, and then maybe it'll jog a memory or two.
Thank you.
Okay. So Dick at the beginning of the book, it's a circus act, and he is basically doing a one-man show. Instead of working as a team with his friends, he basically just does everything on his own.
Right.
And he was supposed to go with his friends, to the movies. They didn't want to be bothered with him because they're pissed off since he's Mr. One-Man Show. And Dick sneaks off and goes to the movies on his own. I don't know who the heck this big, gigantic monster is that shows up somehow in Gotham, conveniently right where Dick is. Dick makes friends with a group with 3 people. Their names are was it Carrie? Carrie, Josh, and CJ. My question is CJ part of the Green Team?
I don't think so.
Okay, good.
Wait.
I thought he was. Because he talks about himself like he's self-important.
He might be, actually. I didn't even put that together.
Time to start thinking, Brant. Put things together. Puzzle.
Yeah.
I don't know. I thought he could have been. But anyway, they're running away from this gigantic red hulking thing, and Josh hurts his leg, and CJ's like, I'm too important to stay here. I'm getting out of here. He can't walk. I can't. I'm not gonna die. I'm too important. Are you staying or going? Dick and Carrie decide to stay. He goes. Dick makes masks. Who didn't see that coming? And it ends up CJ gets in trouble anyway, and Dick ends up saving him. And in the end, it turns out CJ's father is what was his name? They bolded it too. Sal Moroni. Sal Moroni.
Oh yeah, okay. He's a gangster. Yeah, he's like a mobster's son.
And he owes Dick and his family a debt of gratitude because Dick saved his son. And Dick learns a valuable lesson about, hey, we're a team. We got to work together. I'm not, being a star is basically overrated. The end.
Okay. Yeah, when you said we were going to talk about Nightwing, for some reason in my mind, I was thinking Red Hood. That's where I was like, totally lost.
See?
I told you it's all jumbling together. But, yeah. His name was Moroni or Marconi?
Moroni.
Okay. Okay. Now it's starting to come together. The way he could be possibly responsible for his parents' death is because Tony Zuko worked for Moroni.
Oh.
Yes. So by saving Moroni's son, he somehow gets Zuko in their lives. So.
I wouldn't.
Yeah.
I don't think so. I think that I don't know. I don't know.
Yeah, because it's. I think if they go the same way that the original continuity went anyway, I think he kind of I don't know. It's he's like a low-level thug, and he gets on the rise, and maybe he takes off. I don't know, somehow. I don't know. I can't remember.
You know what I didn't like? Dick Grayson was pretty old when he was in the circus still. So he wasn't a young kid like the other Rob, like when in the pre-New 52. He was a kid when
yeah, that's true.
Bruce adopted him.
Yeah.
Here he's already a teenager, maybe older.
Yeah. I don't know. Unless it was just drawn that way.
Plot holes. Listen, it's New 52 made way too many plot holes. I mean, when they did the Crisis on Infinite Earths, it restarted everything. There was no past. There was no nothing. It all began literally again.
Yeah.
This didn't begin again. This actually claimed to have a past.
Yeah.
And the past is plot holes.
True. I mean, it's a very similar past.
I'm starting to agree with what Jay's saying, that by the 52nd issue, everything's going to go back to normal.
I don't know. We'll have to wait and see.
Rampant plot holes. Too many. And I'm sorry. You could be the derpiest editor alive. I think that there's a plan. You could be the dumbest editor alive, but even the dumbest editor knows not to put like overabundance of plot holes in your stories and in your continuity and in your universe, and there are just way too many. Even if Dan Didio is a complete and utter dope, he's smart enough as a writer and as an editor to know not to leave too many plot holes in your continuity, and there's way too many. There's a plan somewhere, I'm telling you.
I don't know. It could just be plot holes.
Then maybe Dan Didio's stupid.
Well,
right?
It could just be plot holes carried over from Pre-New 52.
No.
Oh, there were tons of plot holes there, too.
There were,
That's
but not as many as...
why they restarted. They got too convoluted.
No, they restarted because the superheroes got too old and the Schuster and Siegel family almost won.
Well, there were a lot of contributing factors. But yeah. Anyway. Did you ever get to read that Red Hood issue? Did we talk about that on the show?
No. I didn't get to... Yeah, we did.
Okay.
Red Hood, yeah, he said, I'll never be a Red Hood.
Yeah, okay. I can't remember if you actually read that. Or if you actually read it or not.
I did.
Okay. Cool. I'm so tired. I apologize, folks. I'm starting to slur words and everything.
Alright, well, let's get through. There's only 4 more books left. Do you want to talk about Flash?
Yeah, let's talk about Flash. You said there's only 4?
Yeah,
1, 2,
I only have Flash.
3, 4. Yeah, okay. Okay, cool.
He's starting to see double. Hurry up.
I'm telling you. Alright, Flash. This was a 0-year tie-in, so it takes flashback to that time, just like Nightwing was as well. So Flash is back there, and for some reason he's in Gotham for a week. You still there?
Yeah, I'm here.
Okay, just making sure. He's in Gotham for a week helping out, and Bullock hates him, which I think is hilarious. So, and he's like, they do things completely different there, and they're trying to track down this drug. And anyway, yeah, Icarus. So Bullock wants to leave it alone because it's Gotham, and there's blah blah blah. He hates vigilantes and all this. It's typical Bullock stuff. So.
I like Bullock though. This story got me to like him a little bit.
Oh, I like him. I'm just saying it's typical Bullock mentality here. He hates vigilantes. Oh, yeah. He's got his own way of doing things. It's Gotham. You're not out in Gotham at night and all this stuff. It's just, typical.
Yeah, you don't play the hero, and you don't. You didn't like that Barry was focusing so much on this drug that only homeless people were taking.
Yeah. He's like, don't worry about these people. I'm going to go do something that protects, living people and all this stuff. Anyway, Iris West is there too. She's a reporter.
And this is their first meeting.
Mm-hmm. This is their first meeting. And they actually talk about that. They're like, we both grew up in the same place, but it took a blackout in Gotham to get us to meet. So that was pretty neat.
Aww.
Yeah, it was sweet. And they teased at him becoming the Flash and that with the drug overdose thing. That was so funny.
Yeah, and I love how some people read that and they're like, this was the beginning of the Flash. It's like, no. Did you notice that when through the red Icarus, you got the Superman underwear, and that's the very classic Superman S symbol?
I'm a superhero. I thought that was funny, though.
It was hilarious.
Yeah. But no, I mean, it was... I had more fun with it than I thought I would. It still was... Aside from setting up the first meeting of Barry and Iris, it was another unnecessary issue. But it was okay, though.
I think no zero-year tie-in thus far plays any important role in the actual main zero-year. Even this issue of Batman 25, didn't play that much of an important role in the zero-year story in whole.
I would say the Red Hood one might. I mean, I think that's the best one so far, personally.
Yeah, but Red Hood, once again, that was a story that was interrupted, and as a matter of fact, this story kind of gives a little bit more of a background to the story that we're dealing with right now in Red Hood. And I don't know, it should have happened before the story started.
Yeah, I agree with that. I'm just saying with Red Hood, at least, the zero-year centers around the Red Hood gang, and having a Red Hood story take place back there, how his first encounter with the Red Hood, I think that made sense to do that. But
especially with Joker, that was awesome.
Yeah.
That tied in a little bit, at least.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, exactly. So
I just kind of found it funny that in Nightwing they had to create like this big Red Hulk guy in order to actually make Nightwing's story important at all. It's like,
that's true.
Really?
Yeah. Maybe he'll come back.
Oh, please, don't give any ideas. Alright, I'll take the last Bat book. Damian, Son of Batman, issue 2 of 4. So we find out that the Batman that died in the beginning of the last issue, that wasn't Bruce. It was Dick.
Yeah.
Apparently Bruce got too old to be Batman, so Dick became Batman again. And he died. Bruce found out that his son was killing a bunch of supervillains and basically kicks him out of his family line, and then Damian does something that he's going to regret. And who didn't see this coming? Damian becomes the next Batman.
Nice coat.
Huh?
Nice coat.
I will say that is a very nice coat. It's just kind of ironic that it took 2 issues. I thought it would at least take 3 issues.
They actually said it. Who was it that said it? Somebody actually said nice coat in the issue. Yeah, it was Pig, I think.
Yeah. And I didn't get the whole nurse part. Is the nurse a supervillain or something? Because she looked crazy.
I was half wondering if that was Joker. It might be.
I thought it was Joker.
It might be
like Joker's daughter because of the smile, the hair, and the eyes.
Yeah, it could be Night Nurse, but I don't know. I don't know that much about her.
Well, Bruce was awake when Damian said he's gonna make right, and he's going to make both Bruce and Dick proud.
Yeah, I don't know about you though. When I was reading the nurse's dialogue, I got this raspy voice in my head.
Yeah, I did too. Okay, Batman. Okay, hon.
Yeah, exactly.
I'm moving along, shall we?
Exactly. That's what I heard. That was so funny. Kudos to the writer for that thing.
Oh, yeah. And then I'm not going to spoil the ending, but I don't know. I didn't feel this issue as much.
I'm still totally confused of where in the world this story comes from. I know it's an Elseworlds kind of thing, but I'm just sitting there wondering.
What's the point of it?
Yeah, exactly. Well,
everybody loves Damian now. Apparently everybody hated Damian until they killed Damian. Now everybody loves Damian, so it's like, quick, get Andy Kubert to write a story. 4 issues, go!
No, what it was is they hated kid Damian. This is adult Damian. It's like, that's supposed to be so much better.
Yeah. They didn't even wait till the end of the issue for him to become Batman. He just becomes Batman after Dick died and his father he hurt or put him into a coma or something.
Well, the priest, a.k.a. who I still think is Jim Gordon, told him to. So.
Yeah. Whoop-de-doo. If a priest told me to become Batman, I'd tell him he's crazy.
Well, if your father was Batman, you'd still think he was crazy?
No.
All right.
If my father was Batman, I'd actually have a father.
All right. So, which one do you want to say for last?
Whichever book you're not going to discuss now.
Which one would you prefer me to discuss now?
Red Lanterns.
Okay. I was hoping for the other.
Alright, Teen Titans.
Alright. No, I'll do Red Lanterns. That's fine.
Only because the ending, I names and whatnot, bad. I'll let you do Teen Titans too. It's fine by me.
No, that's fine. That's cool. Alright, so Red Lanterns. I've not been reading this book. You guys have been talking it up so much that I decided to read this issue. So, yeah, good. Of course, as a result of Lights Out and all that stuff, Guy Gardner and the Red Lanterns are the they're the police of 2814 sector, which is the Earth sector.
Brant.
Yeah.
2814.
Really? Really,
sorry. Chris? They call it 2814. They don't call it 2814.
Same difference. Would you prefer?
Okay, so you're going to call Triple E?
I could.
Yeah, I did that on one of my history papers and I got laughed at.
I could call it 2814 if I wanted to.
No, it's 2814.
It's 2814. Anyway. So you're probably one of those people who calls Marvel Universe 616 too. So, anyway.
No, I actually just started calling it 616 because everybody's been talking about how people from the Ultimate Universe are coming over to the 616. Where is 616 from? What does that represent?
It's from the original What If series.
Uh-huh.
The Watcher would always refer to the main Marvel Earth as Earth 616.
So it's the 616th Earth.
Yeah, pretty much.
So why are we on the 616th Earth? We should be on the first one.
In Marvel, that's the main Marvel Universe Earth, is 616.
That's stupid.
It was just a random thing inserted in an issue that kind of stuck. And now it's a thing, so.
That shouldn't sticks.
Well, it's trying to show that there's infinite possibilities. Number one Earth in Marvel lore would be our Earth, our actual Earth. So.
Oh, so we're part of the Marvel Universe.
Exactly. There you go.
Oh, I don't feel comfortable.
Anyway. Red Lanterns. Guy Gardner is getting all buddy-buddy with this other Earth dude. I can't remember his name off the top of my head.
See, I'm too busy
laughing.
Starts
with an A or something, I think.
Rancor.
Okay, it starts with Nar. I knew I had
really
an A in it.
Tired.
I'm telling you. I'm starting to get slap happy now.
Not on the show.
Yeah, they're all buddy-buddy and everything. It's like, they want Rancor wants beer from Earth, and Guy Gardner's like, appreciate the weird. I don't know. It's weird dialogue.
You're not going to get weird. It's weird dialogue about being weird.
Yeah. The art in this issue, by the way, it was okay, but it was a little sketchy.
Dialogue or the art?
The art.
Oh, okay, I didn't hear what you said.
Yeah, it was a little bit sketchy.
A little bit. There were lines in places I didn't think they belonged.
Yeah. I was trying to be kind. Anyway, Atrocitus and Dexter are still trying to get back. They're trying to find a ring. They find this big giant dude that's sitting, I don't know what the heck he's doing.
Crying?
Yeah, he's crying or something.
How does a Red Lantern cry?
Apparently Dexter's from Earth 2.
Yes, he is.
Not Earth 2, Earth.
He meant 2 as in T-O-O.
Yeah, Earth also, I'll say that. So.
And one of the Red Lanterns is losing his ring.
Yeah, and he's like, not yet, please, and we don't know why, so that's interesting. But, they're headed to Earth, or they were headed to Earth, and they decided to take a detour, and things didn't go quite as they planned. And it was an interesting issue. I'm guessing this wasn't the best issue of Red Lanterns.
You would have had to have been reading it for a time. Basically, they're looking to make an impact now. So they're the law of 2814. Now they got to make like this big public 2814. 2814.
Same thing.
No, it isn't. They're looking to make an impact, and it turns out that the person they killed in order to get his spaceship, and he was one of the evil slave pushing people of the 2814. 2814. They decide to go to somebody even bigger, who's General Jensing.
2814.
2814.
2814.
In a second, I'm going to end this show and I'm going to turn this show around.
Can we go back to I'm sorry. It's destroyed. What? Yeah. Sorry you lost your home. Where's my home? Sorry. Go ahead.
I lost my train of thought. So they want to take down Ginseng, and in the end, they actually get double-crossed.
They want to take down who?
I don't know, the general.
Ginseng? They're going to take down some tea.
That's his name!
Oh, I'm sorry. I'm getting slapped up here.
Oh, it's Ginsu. Oh, well, like I heard ginseng tea once before.
Oh, Lord. So, yeah, it was okay. I wasn't as blown away as you guys were making me feel like I needed to be, but like you said, maybe I should have been reading it longer. Yeah,
I would say when Guy Gardner actually made his appearance on Red Lanterns, that would have been a perfect time to jump in. Because things kind of...
What was that was that with the 19s or 20 or whatever?
About 19.
Yeah.
So.
Alright, so we just got one book left then.
Yeah. But I think Red Lanterns is good. It's just this story arc, not new reader friendly. I would say go back and start from issue 20 or 19.
I mean, I wasn't totally lost because I know who the Red Lanterns are, and I knew basically that he took over from Metropolis and they think he killed him, and I knew all that. So, I mean, I wasn't too lost, but it just, there was a lot of sitting around.
Talking.
Yeah. Not much going on.
I just pray to God that's not going to be the book. Like, this time on Red Lanterns, they're going to sit in the ship again and talk about making another impact.
Yeah.
2814. 2814.
Alright, so you want to talk about Teen Titans 20?
No, because you made me talk about the whole ending of Red Lantern, so you go ahead.
Oh, come on. Teen Titans 25, the origin of Bart Allen, which is very disturbing, interesting,
basically,
intriguing. Yeah.
I think what they did was they made Bart Allen in the New 52 his clone from the pre-New 52. And now he's going to somehow split into two people because he keeps saying that there are two minds in his head.
If you notice, I don't know if you picked up on this.
The green dialogue.
Yeah, the green dialogue versus the red dialogue. It's set in different parts.
Yeah. He's gonna split into two. That's what's going to happen.
He almost looked like kind of a Reverse Flash looking character with the green.
A what?
A Reverse Flash-like character.
Yeah. It's like every time he would talk, like angry, he would be green.
Yeah.
And whenever he was actually Bart, he'd be red.
Yeah. But like when they showed his full outfit at the end, it kind of put me in mind of Reverse Flash. Anyway, so he's being put on trial.
Reverse Flash mixed with Speedy.
Yeah.
It's like Speedy's outfit in green.
Yeah. He's being put on trial, and all the rest of the Teen Titans are there now. And they're trying to get him out and everything, but he's made, when he was there before, he made some kind of deal that if he testified, he would get his freedom, and that's kind of what's going on here, but everybody wants him dead.
Yeah, and they replaced his memories.
Yeah. So this was kind of this issue was kind of to say, okay, this is what's going on. Now in the future issues, we're going to tell you exactly what happened. So it was kicking off this whole little trial thing. But I thought it was a great issue.
I loved it. I think if you haven't been reading Teen Titans, you're going to finally find something enjoyable to read about. Yeah. And in the last page, Superboy wakes up, but it says if you want to know what happens with Superboy and Wonder Girl, check out Superboy 26 since he's the new Superboy. Good way to not end a series, DC. You just change the character and let the series continue. Yeah. Unlike Marvel.
They also said early on, they referenced Superman 25 when they said, you know, I don't know, something, if he's going to wake up and they're like, he didn't read Superman 25.
Exactly.
But, and I also thought it was interesting because Raven she was trying to contact her father, and it kind of implied that they weren't on Earth anymore either, so.
I don't like that they're making Raven out to be this, traitor bitch to the Titans. I really don't. Because she's always been against her father. Now in the New 52, all of a sudden she wants to work with her father.
Well, you know, we don't know the whole story yet.
True.
And easy with the language, man.
I'm sorry. Gets me mad because it's like I know who the real Raven was and who the Raven they're writing her as now is. And besides, I could call anybody I want a female dog. It's a medical term.
Yeah, whatever.
We laughed. Listen, I took animal science for 3 years in high school, and when we got to the point where they said, we're going to study about jackasses and jillasses, which were donkeys, we all cracked up laughing in the class.
Okay.
That's the terms.
I understand that.
We just made them out to be curses.
Exactly, but when you make them... I'm not getting this discussion on my comic podcast. Good Lord. Okay, so those are the books. Huh?
Etiquette, young sir. Etiquette.
That's not etiquette. Oh.
It's 5 o'clock in the morning. I don't care what anything is anymore.
Young Christopher. All right. So those are all the books from the 27th. Shall we talk about the books that we're interested in for the 4th that we might talk about on next week's show?
Oh, definitely.
All right. You start with Dark Horse.
Okay. Dark Horse, Terminator Salvation, Final Battle, issue 1 of 12, absolutely, especially after reading Terminator, The Burning Earth. I definitely want to read this. This is supposed to be the story that ends the Terminator series, like the end of the Terminators forever. Mm-hmm. So I definitely want to get my hands on that, and also Hellboy 5.
Okay. Yeah, Terminator Salvation for me as well. All right, DC. Batwing number 26. Looking forward to that. I want to say I'm looking forward to Green Lantern, but I'm really not.
I don't blame you.
Yeah. Wow, I think that's the only thing I'm really looking forward to from DC next week or this week.
Not even DC versus Masters of the Universe?
Not. I mean, I guess, but not. It's not like I can't wait to read it. So I still haven't read issue 2 actually though. So.
Okay. Well, I'm definitely Batwing.
Mm-hmm.
Batman, Superman, Earth 2, absolutely. And Swamp Thing, just to see what's going on.
Okay. IDW?
IDW. I cannot wait to read TMNT Villains Microseries issue 8, Shredder. It's the final issue, and it's Shredder. Do I have to say more? And Transformers More Than Meets the Eyes issue 24.
Yes. Cybertron, Dark Cybertron Part 4. Which I gotta mention, I read, what was it? Robots, I think it was Robots in Disguise number 22, the Prelude, today.
Uh-huh.
I'm trying to catch up on that. It was like they were. It was. I don't know. Did you read that issue?
Yeah, I the preludes kind of lost me.
Yeah.
But I'm in the actual series now.
Okay. It was, they were doing a documentary film.
Oh yeah, I remember that sort of.
I was like, what the heck is going on?
Don't look at me, I lost it. They lost me.
Yeah, I was like, how in the world does this lead into a major event? Anyway. From IDW, G.I. Joe Real American Hero 197, only 3 issues away from 200. So, excited about that. And of course, the Transformers More Than Meets the Eye as well. Alright. Image. Yeah, nothing.
Same. Invincible Universe issue 8.
Okay. Alright, so Marvel.
Marvel Amazing Spider-Man issue 701.1. Have to read it. Love. It's going to be good to see Peter Parker back. Amazing X-Men number 2. Cataclysm number 2. Inhumanity the one-shot. I was going to say number 1, but it's the one-shot. Hey, look, there's Iron Man. Moving on. Superior Spider-Man 23.
Okay, all those plus Guardians of the Galaxy 9. Right.
I didn't even see Guardians of the Galaxy. Guardians of the Galaxy.
Alright, so into the indies.
Absolute Happy Kitty Special 1.
No. I'm telling you, we gotta start looking at these before.
That or the indies have to start separating, Diamond has to start separating the indies by companies like what Midtown does.
Yeah, they don't care about any of them except their top 5, so. Wow, I'm down to the G's and not,
Realm Knights.
Yeah, I was about to say that Grim Fairy Tales Realm Knights, number 4. Beyond that, Shadow Man 13.
Yep.
I think that's it.
Same for me. Exact same. And Sonic the Hedgehog 255.
Okay. So those are the books you might hear us talk about next week. On the shoe. And that's all we got.
Go to sleep now, Brant.
Yeah, thank goodness. Alright, so of course, check out comicrelated.com every day. Don't question it, just go there every day.
And also, while you're doing that, also don't forget to check out Comic Frontline as well as Dark Avenger Inc.
Yeah, which you can find links to both of those on the About page on comicrelated.com. They all tie in. They do.
Yeah, exactly. One big family between the 3 sites, #1 source for comic book news, reviews, and a whole bunch more.
Yeah. And of course, listen to all the other podcasts on Comic Related.
Or just listen to us.
Listen to all our other podcasts. No, listen to everybody's. They're all good. So yeah, if you have any comments or suggestions for us, if you'd like to hear us talk about a certain book or a certain topic or whatever, you'd like to be on the show to promote your book or just to get on here and chat with us, you can email either one of us, Brant or Chris, at comicrelated.com. Mm-hmm. We'd like to thank the official band of the Related Recap, the Yellow Belts. Nothing.
I knew you were gonna wait. Okay, fine. All right. They're so yellow they make the sun jealous.
Nice. I like that. Finally, one not about the color of their belt. Actually, it kind of was, but you know what I mean.
Yep.
Never mind. I don't know. I'm half asleep.
And now they're probably black belts, but beside the point.
I had to say something.
Yeah, you did, didn't you? I mean, unless they're really still stuck on the yellow belts. I mean, how long could you be on the second level?
They got that far and they didn't care anymore, and they just knew they were cool.
Exactly.
That's what it was. Yeah. Oh, Lord. Anyway, so That's all we got, folks. So if it's comic related,
we will stay up till 5 in the morning, talk gibberish, and not understand a word we're saying, but we will cover it here for you, just for you, all of you that are listening to this show on the Related Recap.
That's right.
As Brent yawns, he's dying or something. Good night, everybody.
I'm glad.
This has been a Gonzo Goose production. Honk!